Hello, thank you for joining us for another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. We appreciate you guys joining us. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi.
This here, she's a little bit shy today. It's a Fluffy Kitty. I guess she's the main star of the show now.
Yes.
She's no longer the guest star. She's been having a stressful couple of days with the wind here, so we're just gonna let her rest there. Hopefully she doesn't get too rambunctious there.
Wind yesterday, snow plows, and snow blowers today.
Yeah, lots of noise for her. This is a show where we talk about all things in pop culture that we love. New and old movies, trailers, different types of books, TV and streaming. We're gonna do some comments later on, but for this section right now, we're gonna be talking about the new episode of Yellowjackets that premiered yesterday on Friday. We're recording this section on Saturday. And then we have a new segment, and we're going to be talking about a classic movie, Warner Brothers' Man of Steel from 2013. Now, later on in the episode, we're going to be talking lots of other things that we've already recorded. We're talking Star Wars: The Bad Batch, Star Wars: The Mandalorian, Star Trek: Picard, John Wick 4. Maybe there'll be a few segments of Chakotay's Odyssey in there, talking Star Trek Voyager, first season. And, okay, so let's jump into our reviews that we have for right now. We just watched the premiere of Season 2 of Yellowjackets. First episode dropped last night. It's called Friends, Romans, Countrymen.
Right. It's just picking up where it left off. It's just like another episode of last season almost. It's not really much.
Do you want to spoil this or not?
No, let's not spoil it.
Yeah, it just came out last day. So what were your thoughts on this episode without spoiling anything?
I really just thought it was a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
So none of that kind of weird stuff really was happening.
You mean you talking about the mushrooms?
No.
Last
I mean
season
this
here.
weird, like at the end it was almost like there was some, I don't know, ghost or something involved. None of that was in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just progressing the story forward.
I found at the end of last season it was getting a bit too unbelievable for me. It was starting to become Riverdale.
I don't think it was Riverdale, but it was saying maybe there was a ghost or something. I don't really know if it's going to go back to that, but it didn't go there with this episode, so I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows more and more about how they're in trouble and what they need to do to get out of trouble.
It shows more of the girls in the 90s when they're stuck out in the woods there. Now it's winter and it's freezing. That's in the trailer anyway. That's where we left off anyway. So we see more of the degradation of society and rules. Okay? As my theory was for the last season, it's Lord of the Flies. It's going to become Lord of the Flies, and they're just going to have their own crazy religion, and that's why they have like that cult stuff in that first episode. It's just going to become complete societal degradation. That's my prediction. We'll see if that happens or not.
At this point, and they do come back to society, and we see them now in the future. They're
but there only so many of them survive.
Got to see finally. We got a hint of our last episode of last season, so we see another character as an adult that we hadn't really seen before.
What is that character's name?
Lottie.
So Lottie is now let's not spoil it. Yeah.
But we did see her at the end of season 1.
Yeah, how many characters have we seen in the future now? Shauna? Thaisa? Natalie?
Died. Natalie, yeah. We have quite a few of them that we've seen. We know one of them doesn't make it for sure to the future. And it was
Misty.
It was interesting. Yeah, Misty of course is there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
those were the main 4.
We got an extra
and
character.
Also the guy who survived, who was in the last season, I guess, sort of.
He died, but we see him in the future, I suppose. He's there. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen. It's just to be a complete continuation. We do see a couple. I did notice, though, there was a lot of girls that they showed last season that didn't say anything. You don't even know who they are. Like, they're just
in the background all the time.
But in this episode, some girls did say things.
They got lines.
Yeah, they got lines finally. I don't even know if it's the same girls because they never really would show the other girls. Like they kind of, yeah, it was weird. They only focused on a few of them, and we didn't know what was going on with the rest of them. So we see more of who survives and what they're saying and stuff. So that was a little different. That was different than season 1. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
I'm really on the fence on this show right now, because if it goes the path of Rivendell,
I don't think
if anyone knows that show, it just slowly goes off a cliff and goes off the rails.
That show was getting off the rails from the get-go.
Too wacky. Well, I'll watch Rivendell sometime, but I gotta finish Voyager first. This one, if it becomes too wacky and too unbelievable, I mean, this is supposed to be a real-world kind of situation. This isn't in a magical Marvel or DC universe. Okay? Or in a Star Wars universe, it's supposed to be grounded and realistic. So if it becomes too unbelievable, I'm going to tap out. And I'm very on the fence on this show. The last season ended really badly for me. Just in some of the things that they were just like, this is ridiculous.
Just continued on from the last season. Anyway, I think it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. His brother is missing. Maybe it's his brother that gets out and gets help. I don't know where his brother went. It does, that is one thing we do see, is a little bit of when they actually were brought home. We do see a peek of that in this episode, which we hadn't seen before, but we really don't have any information really at this point. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I'm gonna keep on watching it.
I'm still in it for now. I'm just cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
The show has been really good, but it started to get off the rails a little bit, and this is not the kind of show that I want to see do that. Maybe that's just me.
I don't think so.
But
anyway,
that's just my opinion. Are you watching Yellowjackets, which is a Showtime production? Season 1, now it just started season 2, so there's not that much. If you want to get caught up and jump on into the action, you can. I don't think it's just 10 episodes, I think, the first season.
I don't know. There's not that many. Anyway, it wouldn't take you very long to get caught up. But I find it really interesting.
Let me double check that. 10 episodes, yeah. Yes. And this one is 5 episodes?
I was able to find it on Crave. It could be that there's 5 now and then another 5 coming out later. I don't know.
Maybe they're ending it. Maybe they got nothing more.
I don't know. Anyway,
let us know if you're enjoying Yellowjackets from Showtime. You've heard our opinions. Christine's really enjoying it. I did enjoy a lot of the first season, but it ended badly for me. But if you have another opinion, let us know down below, and we'll read out your comments in a future episode. So, leading into comments, I sent out that tweet after we watched it, and I got some comments back on Twitter. So I wanted to read those out because people were nice enough to send in the comments. So,
in regards to what?
So my tweet that I put on for Man of Steel, you want me to reread it?
No.
Okay, I was talking about what I liked about it. So, Megafan, who is at Megafan06 on Twitter, responded by saying, "Agree with all that you said. I knew a Superman film that will make me feel great when I'm watching him, like Superman and Lois." Well, thank you very much for your comment. I never watched the recent Superman and Lois show.
I didn't even know there was one.
It was a part of the Arrowverse.
Oh, I watched the one a long time ago with, what's his name? Oh,
I can't remember.
My brother met him once. He made a movie in the alley behind my brother's apartment.
So thank you for...
Dean Cain.
Yeah, Dean Cain there with Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, and I got to drive on we thought it was all glass in the road. I had to leave and go home, and they said, no, you can drive on that. That's just like movie glass. So I got to drive through the set, all the smashed glass in the road and everything.
Nice. So after he sent me that, I responded to Megafan saying, hoping the new Superman Legacy film gets made and it becomes a big hit, which is the movie that we're supposed to get in 2025, maybe.
Get someone to look at the script first, please.
And Megafan replied by saying, absolutely. So, I'm looking forward to another Superman movie, aren't you?
Not when they ruin it.
It's not going to be Henry Cavill.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It's nothing really to do with Henry Cavill. It's just like you're taking these characters that we love and you're like Wonder Woman. This is much worse than Wonder Woman. So
okay. We're going to get into that movie. You've had your say on Man of Steel. Next week you get to talk about that. This is supposed to be about viewer comments now.
You made me watch it.
This time is supposed to
Okay,
be
what
about
are the
viewer
other
comments.
comments that
People
you
that were
got?
nice enough to send in comments to us. So, Lourdes Cassiano, I'm probably butchering that, I apologize, on our review of the TV spot for Only Murders in the Building.
Right.
So we had that 30-second TV spot, and then we talked about it.
Yeah.
So, Lourdes Cassiano responded by saying, I love it. I was asking if anyone enjoyed the show. And so
I love it
that's
too.
great. Christine's loving it. I enjoyed the first season quite a bit, but then I tapped out. Well, maybe the third season will be better and I'll get back on board.
They're all good.
So thank you for your comment there. And our next comment came from Stephen Borg. We talked about him before. He was commenting on our other John Wick stuff there. So he left another comment saying, John Wick 3 was pretty long. Just a shame about the lack of progressive story. All depends on how well the director keeps the rhythm of the flick.
Yeah, it was still better than the second one. But
Yeah.
I probably won't be going to see the fourth one now because I've got enough. My cup is filleth over with
and it's long.
John Wick. I'm done.
If you enjoy John Wick, I'd say go see it.
I'm done with
So,
John Wick now.
Stephen, if you saw John Wick 4, let us know. But thank you for your comment on John Wick 3 there. We agree. It was definitely better than 2.
But it's still the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not that much happening, really. Not that much. Anyway.
It's all about the style.
It's just about a style, how
And
he
it
kills
slowly
people.
expands this world and you find out more about stuff. Yeah, which we've already reviewed and we'll be talking about in a later segment. Next, we got another comment from David Norhoff. So thanks for sending a shout out to us. And Dave commented, I'm with Christine on this one. No interest in a Mario movie. So that was on our review of the final trailer for a Mario movie.
Well, it doesn't look very funny. I see, actually, I've been just watching stuff on YouTube where there's a lot of commercials for just Mario games and stuff coming up. They're really pushing it.
It's big. They put up a Mario World somewhere in California.
I think
Universal or
sales
Paramount or
there's
something.
Competition or sales are down, so they might decide to make a movie to put sales up of these things, probably.
It'll be Universal.
Doesn't seem very funny. I mean, if it's witty, that's one. It doesn't seem that way, though.
Well, you don't have the nostalgia for it because you didn't grow up playing Mario games and reading Mario comics and that.
It still should be good so that people can enjoy it because it's going to be targeted at an older audience, and it should have some jokes or.
This is targeted for the generation below you, so this is targeted at millennials.
Well, they still.
And then,
that's what I'm
so
saying.
Millennials will take their kids, and it might be targeted at some Generation Z. But because Mario has just been reinterpreted again and again since the 80s.
Yeah, but it should have some humor or something to it. It doesn't seem there's much for adults.
Some people say the trailer is hilarious.
I don't think... it didn't seem very funny to me. Anyway, we'll have to see.
Humor is very subjective, right? What's more subjective than humor?
I'm trying that hard. Anyway, we'll have to see. You go see it. Tell me if it's funny.
I'm looking forward to it, and if it's good, this could end up being one of the biggest movies of the year. So, thanks for your comment, Dave. We'll see if it's any good or not. So now we're going to sign off right now, the three of us. And you'll check us out in the next segments. We're talking about a whole lot more reviews. And we even got more news. Okay, and more comments. So take care, everyone.
Bye.
See ya. Hi there. Thank you for joining us for another segment here on Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. Show where we discuss all things in pop culture that we love, new and old movies, trailers, different types of books, as well as TV and streaming. I'm one of your hosts, Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife, Christine.
Hi.
We do have a furry friend here, but she's kind of shy, so we'll see if she joins us for this segment. So first off, we're going to start with some box office news.
Okay,
now last week, we talked about Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, which I enjoyed and you enjoyed.
Yeah, and that was its opening weekend.
That was pretty good.
So opening weekend for this show?
Yeah.
For this movie, it came in at $30.1 million.
Is that good?
No, that's bad.
It was really kind of hidden at the movie theaters. I don't know, they're not promoting it or
they're not advertising it either.
Yeah, I thought it was much better than Ant-Man, which got, of course, tons of advertising, but that's a different agency. That's Marvel. Not DC, but I thought it was pretty good.
Normally we wouldn't report that, but according to Variety, I believe this is Variety. Yeah, it says
Yeah.
it has a budget of 125 million. And it made 30.1 million on its opening budget, on its opening weekend.
Yes.
That's really bad.
But the benefit of these kind of movies is that anyone that's a DC fan is going to watch this movie and probably going to want to own it. So it has way more saleability in the future.
True.
And once people say, yeah, it was good, then maybe people will start watching it. Because, I don't know, they're not really advertising it or promoting
That's
it.
happened for a lot of movies, but when you have a 30 million opening on a movie that costs 125 million to make, that means you probably have to make about 250 million for it to break even.
Well, that's too bad.
This is not going well.
It's a pretty good movie, but then again, this shows you a good movie might not make that much money. It's still a good movie.
Yeah,
a bad movie gets lots of promotion. Maybe people go to see it at first, but it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, it's a solid film.
Definitely, there's lots of good movies that don't find an audience,
well,
and that's a shame. Same thing with
does has an audience.
James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Awesome
that
movie.
One is very good. It's better than this one. That one has a lot. I mean, it's not for kids though. This one is.
And that one opened
kids.
to less than this.
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is a solid title for
some
DC.
people are saying, this is one of the reasons why I brought this up, some people are saying that this means that the DC extended universe, the DCEU, that people are checked out on this. And people are sick of this Snyderverse because it's not that fun.
The problem is they've already said they're not continuing with these people. So any DC fans might have checked out on that. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Why say your properties are not good when they are good? Like, they're just not good at self-promotion, I think.
Yeah, well, they're rebooting it, and that's what the new heads of DC Studios are doing, James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Well, these are ones that were already in production.
And it's anything
that hadn't started production, meaning filming, was scrapped.
It's a fine movie. Anyway.
So they're just releasing these because they were already
hold up.
done.
The Shazam universe that we've had, the 2 films, that's a nice little set there. I think it'll hold up. It's much better than a lot of some of the other ones. It's much better than Black Adam. And unfortunately, they really screwed up with Black Adam. I think it could have been good. They just anyway.
I had fun with Black Adam, even though it was a bad movie.
You liked the parts I didn't like, and I liked the parts you didn't like.
I mean, there was a lot I didn't like in Black Adam, but as for Shazam, go out and see this. This is a fun movie. It didn't do well with critics. It's only sitting at about a 52%. I'll check it out here.
Why? It's good for a family film too.
52%, but audiences are loving it, and it has an 87% audience score.
It's good that everyone can go to it because there's so many that you can't do that, and it has good stories through it, good kind of themes.
All the actors, they're having fun, and it is a fun movie.
Themes. It's a good. I don't know, good for children.
The reason why these general audiences aren't supporting the Snyderverse films is because they're dark and gloomy. They're not fun, but these Shazam movies are fun.
I mean, maybe some of the creatures might be a little scary to some little kids, but still, any kid over 8 for sure.
The first one was scarier
see it.
with those demons, the sins.
Yeah,
it's way
still.
scarier.
I mean, there's a lot more scary things out there. I think it's fine. I don't know. I think they're not promoting it enough, and no one knew about it.
I don't think they're marketing it at all because they don't expect to make anything. Some people are saying this is because people are checked out on the DCEU. Other people say it's comic book movie fatigue. It could just be because Ant-Man Quantumania wasn't very good. Okay?
Well,
a lot of people didn't like Black Adam.
People...
hold on, let me finish my point. So when you got the previous DC movie people didn't like in Black Adam, and then you got Quantumania for Marvel that people were disappointed in, maybe you were like, I'm not going to waste my time or my money because it's expensive to go to the theater.
Most people don't know the difference between DC and Marvel. They just say them all as the same.
I don't know. Do your parents know the difference?
No, I don't. If I told them, maybe, but nobody knows the difference. Okay. Only you.
Shout out to Bill and Nola there, our number one fans.
I mean, anybody that reads comic books would know, but that is not the majority of people.
Definitely. Black Adam is an obscure character in the Shazam world, and Shazam is not top tier DC.
Well,
he's a secondary character
and
at best.
for me, who's not a comic book person, that's fine. As long as we get a good story, I don't care if it's known or not. I mean, it's, you know, you can take any obscure title as long as it's good material and write a good movie about it.
The first Shazam opened to like 53 or 54 million. So this is significantly less. I'll double check that.
Like, seriously, when I went to go see it at the movies, every other movie was listed ahead of it. Movies that had Puss in Boots was ahead of it. In the list
it's still playing.
And they had, like, I think Scream was the number one. Then it had Ant-Man. Then it had Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, some other thing. Then Puss in Boots and some other obscure film. And then it had... But the good thing was it wasn't IMAX. But then again, that's not good because people don't want to pay the money to go to IMAX. So
yeah, well, it's expensive. Yeah. So what do we got here? Shazam, according to Box Office Mojo, had an opening weekend of 53.5 million.
The first one.
Yeah. And this
really
one
fun.
only opened to 30.1.
Oh, here comes our other kitty who you haven't seen yet. This is Penny Kitty. I have some treats here for her. She's always moving around. That's why you haven't seen her. You still can't really see her, I guess. She's our little panther. She's like covering the screen.
This is great content.
She is fun,
well,
but she does have some white on her.
It's just a cat's butt. Okay, could you move your butt, kitty?
Oh, no, we don't want to see the butthole.
No, could you just move your butt out of the camera, kitty? There she goes.
Oh.
Okay, good Penny. Anyway, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I gave it best movie ever. When it comes out, I'm going to buy a 4K copy because it's part of this franchise, and I do enjoy most of these DCEU movies. They're not all my favorite. Christine really enjoys it.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
So check it out. So maybe I'll have a better second weekend. I don't know. What do you think? Did anyone out there? Did you see Shazam, Fury of the Gods? Did you see the first one? What are your thoughts on any of these things? Let us know down in the comments below. We'll read them out on future episode.
Right.
Moving on to our next topic, we are going to go into some reviews. So let's do our... Oh, before I do that, I'll mention, you mentioned Puss in Boots. I got my 4K copy right here.
Oh,
it's still playing in the theater.
It's fun.
We watched 22 Jump Street.
Oh, yes.
We already reviewed 21. Now we did 22 Jump Street. We watched this yesterday. This is from 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Only came out 2 years after the first one, but it's pretty easy to shoot comedy. As long as you got a good script, shouldn't take very long. I'm sure they rushed this.
I think the first one is a bit funnier, but this one still has really funny parts.
Oh, definitely. I think I picked up on more jokes this time. Because I remember on my first screening, because we saw this in the theater in 2014, the best part is the post-credit scene, or the credit scene. Where they go through the different, where there's like 23 Jump Street, 24 Jump Street. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, it's a spoiler review because this movie's 9 years old, but I don't want to spoil that. That is one of the funniest parts.
That's a really good
But there's a lot of good jokes throughout this movie that I didn't pick up before.
Kids.
It's a good buddy comedy.
Older teenagers,
so
not for kids.
Yeah, so clearly these guys they didn't look like they were in high school in the first one.
No.
And now they don't look like they're in college, so they send them to college. And that's one of the jokes throughout the movie. It's like, dude, you look like you're 30 going on 50. Why are you a freshman?
He's got like crow's feet and everything.
Yeah,
anyway,
the guys mentioned that.
It's fun. It's not as funny as the first one, but it's still, they're a good pair. It's a really fun movie.
I like the scene where they're driving along in the football scooter mobile.
Oh,
and they're going for a long
Keystone Cops or something.
And they're not supposed to be wasting any more of the department money, and yet they're damaging everything.
They drive through the robotics department.
Yeah, and all the art sculptures.
Everything gets smashed.
Everything is
anyway,
just destroyed.
it's just fun. It's fun.
And
there's an ode to the first one. Some of the actors from the first one are in it.
Yeah,
they're just sort of thrown in there, some of them at the end.
They even brought back another actor from the original show.
Oh, yes,
who was in this.
Yeah.
He was just there for a quick cameo.
Yeah, they have like fun cameos, and it's just fun and stupid.
There's a great little montage when they get their dorm room, And they're like, oh yeah, we gotta have the expanding laundry bin. Check, right?
Oh yeah, all the
And then
stuff
it's
for
like
university.
a T-shirt that lets everyone know that we're cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember what the
And
T-shirt
then-
said.
And they have the poster of the Lamborghini, of course.
Oh yeah, it was a T-shirt that was. Oh yeah, Channing
He
Tatum
loves
has it, but the
Lamborghinis.
T-shirt was letting people know that they drink so that they're cool.
Oh, okay. But then they go to a coffee house the first day.
No, that was Schmidt, Jonah Hill, because he left the frat party because he wasn't enjoying
It's
himself,
cute.
and the frat guys didn't like him.
Yeah, it's cute.
Great to see John Walker, Captain America. Wyatt Russell is in this. He's one of the dealers. He's Channing Tatum's new best buddy. They have a bromance.
Definitely a bromance.
Yeah, they have a pretty hardcore bromance in this.
Well, that's the thing. Like Schmidt and him have a bromance,
So-
and then it gets there's kind of a new person comes on the scene that kind of invades on their bromance. So the cat is into something over there.
Yeah,
if you're hearing
Penny's getting
anything.
into some stuff
That's why
there.
we don't normally have her in for the show because she's always on the move.
Hmm.
I think she's eating your income tax papers.
She's playing with some receipts that I have there. Oh well.
Anyway, yeah, it's fun. I mean, yeah, if not for kids though, but if you like the first one and the second one, you have to watch them
I was
together.
more surprised by the first one to see Brie Larson in it.
I didn't realize it was her either.
And yeah, and
She
so
looks different.
John Walker, Captain America, who becomes U.S. agent.
Yeah,
He's in this.
It's
He was recently in
fun.
the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series on
Right.
Disney Plus from a couple years ago.
and
yeah.
this one has a fun twist as to something that
we
happens.
rewatched that series. We're probably gonna have to review that sometime.
Okay.
Maybe on the weekend.
Forgot.
There's a lot of great segments in it. Oh yeah, and Jillian Bell is in it too. And she's been in a bunch of things since then. She was
Oh.
in that Brittany Runs a Marathon movie.
Oh right, and
she plays Brittany.
She plays a really weird character.
Roommates.
And the humor is really strange with her. Her humor is very weird.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
It's very weird.
But the story works out
but
well,
it's
and you
funny.
have a fun time. You even get to see Schmidt's parents again.
Oh yeah,
But
they bring
barely.
back like lots of people from the first one. Anyway,
Even the kids from the high school, the nerds, they bring
oh
them
yeah,
back.
yeah, they're in there. They got
Oh yeah, and you
laser
definitely get the
guns.
cameo appearance. Probably another one of the best scenes is with Rob Riggle comes back and Dave Franco.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because they got arrested at the end of the first one. And he's there. He's like, I'm supposed to go to Berkeley.
Yeah, he's in
Anyway.
jail with his old gym teacher.
Yeah, we
anyway,
see them a couple times. It's quite
crazy.
funny. They're
yeah,
living
it's
by
fun.
prison rules
Basically,
now, by the way.
if you like 21 Jump Street, you're gonna like 22
Yeah,
Jump
it's
Street.
more of
I
the
think
same.
they're basically almost the same movie. It just keeps on going.
Yep.
And it's fun.
Yep.
Anyway, I totally recommend it, but not for kids. Nope. Here's the kitty
Oh,
again.
Penny might come up
She'll
there.
come up and finish her treats off.
No, she's gonna sit
just
in the
gonna
middle of the
block the
camera
camera.
again. Okay.
She needs better direction.
So 22 Jump Street from 2014. Did you guys see this? Are you big fans of it? You heard what Christine is there behind the cat. You heard what we thought about it.
Better treats.
What do you think about 22 Jump Street? And the other thing I want to mention was I think they could bring these guys back and say they're doing another Jump Street movie. I'd watch it.
Yeah, well, they have many
Okay.
possibilities. They show at the end credit scene.
Let us know your thoughts on 22 Jump Street and the first one, 21 Jump Street, down in the comments below. We'll read them out on a future episode.
Yep.
Now we got one other review that we're going to get to,
We do.
and we're going to talk about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer Stone /
Yes.
Philosopher Stone from 2001.
Right.
You really wanted me to watch this movie
I
with
don't
you.
want you just to watch this movie. I want you to watch
Yes.
the whole series. You've never watched
I'm going to
them.
watch all of them.
You've never read the books.
You start out. What are your
Now-
thoughts on this movie?
When I saw this movie, I hadn't read the book yet, and I didn't really care for it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was that great. I mean,
Treats,
there was a
Penny.
lot of talk about it at the time. And I
Treats.
didn't think it was that great. I kind of didn't get it. I thought it was interesting, I guess, some of the concept, but I didn't really like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
But then I read the book, and I enjoyed it a lot more. And then I read the next book. So I basically had read most of the books
There
that
you
were
go.
out at
There's
the time,
Ken.
and then watched the
Ken.
movies afterwards, and I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed that world. And now seeing this movie, although it looked really old.
Yeah, it's weird. I watched it. It appears as if it was shot in the 80s,
Gee, it looked
but
really old quality.
with visual effects from 2001.
It was odd. I know the quality. We watched it. What service did we watch it on?
Crave.
Yeah, it looked really old.
But that would be from Warner Brothers.
But I still enjoy, now I know all these things that they're talking about and the critics, so I do enjoy watching it again, but I didn't really enjoy it the first time. And that leads into what you thought about it,
Well,
because you didn't really like it either.
so this is not for me. I've never seen any of the Harry Potter movies except for 2 of the Fantastic Beasts movies, and they were both snooze fests.
They're not very good.
I saw the second and third one.
Yeah.
So, but I've never seen any of the Harry Potter movies. So this was first viewing. I posted a reaction video on my channel earlier in the week when we finished it. First off, if this is for kids, it shouldn't be 2 hours and 32 minutes. I mean,
it almost should have been part 1 and part 2.
that was ridiculously long, and
long.
not much happens in this movie.
They're more introducing you to the scenery.
To the whole world, and then there's a little thing at the end where it's like, oh, we got this Philosopher's Stone. Where did it come from? It came up from the guy in the mirror. What? Makes no
they
sense.
do explain it, but you were bored at that point on your phone.
I kept checking out on this as I was watching it, which is a sign that this is not for me. This is a kid's movie.
Yes.
I will say this is very well made, and if this is your thing and you enjoy it, that's great. And this is a good movie that's well made. It's not for me.
However,
I'm not trying to pick a fight with anyone. I didn't grow up watching or reading this property.
What you don't realize is as they go on, the movies progress.
Yes.
And as they go on,
of course they progress. It's a sequel.
No, but each one becomes more serious and more adult as he grows up. And there's lots that happens.
Why didn't you just jump to like 3 or 4 then, if that's where the good ones start?
The books are kind of better in that way. The first movie is not very good, and I understand now watching it again why I didn't like it the first time.
Yep.
But I really do enjoy the whole series and the story. She's very inventive. All the stuff she's come up with. And once you're not going to read the books, but once you see the other ones, you'll appreciate them a lot more. Because this one is very rudimentary, I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a good comparison. So this movie for you in the Harry Potter franchise is similar to me in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, with Captain America. First time I watched it, so bored out of my mind, okay?
Is that the one with Red Skull?
Yeah.
I had to stop watching it.
Yeah. So people gush about this. We'll review it when we get to the MCU movies, but when I first watched that movie, I was not impressed, and I found it quite boring.
Right.
So, and that probably has a lot to do with the director, Joe Johnston. His movies tend to be quite boring for me. Anyway, I didn't enjoy that one, but going back now and watching stuff previously in the MCU, I appreciate it a lot more, and I'm not saying I'm bored. I do enjoy it.
This was a lot.
So that's the comparison I was making.
To make a movie about this book, it's a big project. It's really hard to recreate that world.
This had a lot of British stereotypes in it.
Well, it is about boarding school.
The old wizard guy, the old witch with the ridiculous hat. I mean,
it's not about that though.
It was really it seemed really juvenile to me.
This story
with the broomsticks and the Quidditch. I'm like,
they're just introducing you to the world, but the story is about the kids' parents, and it's about something that happened 10 years before.
I get that. I'm saying, having not seen any of the future ones, I would have started later on. But and then gone back and made prequels.
Make much sense. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. But if you were a kid, if you were 9 and you watched this first one and you read that book, then you'd be like, people are really into it.
If I was 9 when this came out, this came out in 2001, the same year that Fellowship of the Ring came out. And that I find that has a more mature themes to it. And I was
Right.
into Lord of the Rings, and I still enjoy Tolkien stuff there. This Harry Potter stuff, starting out, it's aimed at like 8-year-olds, seems
Yeah.
really juvenile to me. And I'm not trying to
It's-
rag on
that's
this
what
movie,
it
but I
is,
didn't
and
grow up with
I
this.
didn't kind of get what it was all about either when I first saw it. I didn't get why people were talking so much about it because I didn't really care for that.
I'll bet if I saw this when I was 8 years old,
Oh my gosh.
I probably would have loved it.
Oh, you would.
But I was way too old when this came out.
Yeah.
So this was aimed at a younger demographic.
But if you read
so I have no
the
nostalgia for
book,
this.
the books are really well done. And then, like, it's just a lot to create in a movie.
So you're a big fan of the books.
I'm big fan of the series as a whole.
What are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling?
Well, I don't know. There's been lots of negative
She
stuff
seems
about
to be
her.
rather controversial in
Yeah.
the media, let's say.
However, everyone says kudos to her for creating this universe. It's really brilliant, and the story is really good. You just haven't seen the story yet. You just got to the doorway of it, really.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen what's really going to happen. Anyway, I tell you, they get better.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep watching them.
I had to convince them a lot to
what
watch it.
rate? Oh, yeah, jeez. Anyway, we're going to keep watching the Harry Potter movies, do one a week, but we're also going to start doing other ones. Like, we just finished Jump Street.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can start on the DCEU next because you haven't seen all of them. You've missed a bunch.
You told me not to watch some of them because they were bad.
No, I said don't go see them in the theater. But anyway, I'd say the majority of them I enjoy. There's some that aren't that great. Okay?
Yeah.
But don't say that to the Snyderverse people because they're all masterpieces according to them.
Unfortunately, this movie
So
was a little bit...
on the internet rating system, what do you give it?
On this movie, first time I watched it, not including all this other information.
No, I'm talking now. What's your rating?
Well, now...
Best or worst?
I don't do that.
Okay.
I think this movie has got like a 75.
75
for all the
That's a B. That's
creation
good.
of the world and everything.
75.
However,
No, that's a C.
that's low on my score. Overall series, I give the overall series like a 95.
Okay,
overall.
but we're dealing with just one movie at a time.
This one's 75 because it is so
Is this the weakest one?
rudimentary. Oh, yes.
This is the weakest one. I give it best, worst movie ever.
Yeah, you didn't like it. But
Sorry,
I didn't like
Harry
it at
Potter
first
fans. I'm not
either.
trying to pick a fight with anyone, but I was bored for 2 hours and 32 minutes.
It's showing you the world. This is just the first step, and now they're going to get into it more.
If this had been made as like a one-off without all the other stuff, this probably would have bombed.
It should have been in 2 parts, maybe, too. I don't know.
What are your thoughts on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer Stone / Philosopher Stone, depending on what part of the world you're in? I don't quite understand myself. You heard our thoughts on it? All the posters I found online were said Sorcerer Stone. It was hard to find one that says.
Version.
It was hard to find one that said the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, the book that I had was called The Philosopher's Stone, and I remember.
And the one we watched on Crave said Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why
British.
it looked like it was shot in the 80s. Maybe we got the BBC version of it.
No, it's like the British Canadian sort of mixed in their version is Philosophers, and the American version. I don't know where the Australians are in it.
Do you think they play Harry Potter on the BBC all the time over there? Is it well, it's got to be really popular there in the UK.
No.
I don't know. If you're in England or somewhere in the UK
seen it.
and they show Harry Potter all the time on TV, let us know down in the comments below. I've never been there.
It's like Anna Green Gables.
Okay, that's our thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on Harry Potter. And that was our second review there. Now, quickly, we're going to jump into our favorite segment of Chakotay's Odyssey.
Oh, well, you're going to do that.
Featuring the adventures of Janeway.
What happened this week?
I think you're enjoying this. Episode 8 is called Ex Post Facto.
Oh, wow. Fancy name.
And this one's actually alright. It starts off, it's in black and white. And it's about a murder on an alien planet.
Oh, it's a murder mystery.
Yeah, exactly. So, Tom Ex-Con Paris is set up as the murderer. He's framed for murder.
Well,
I mean, he is an ex-con and an ex-prisoner, so...
He would be the prime suspect.
Exactly. So, they're on this alien world visiting for some reason.
Oh, because they can't get to the Alpha Quadrant.
They're just trying to make friends everywhere they go,
it's
I
like
guess.
if we went on a road trip with Janeway, we'd be stopping at every gas station.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy. You stop at every place.
My father
you
would
never
like
get
that.
anywhere.
You don't stop when you're in the car with him.
So in this one, he's convicted of murder, and on this planet, as punishment, you get put in jail. But they put implants into your brain.
To reprogram you, like
no,
make you a better
makes
person?
you every like 8 hours. It makes you rewatch the murder.
Oh, I think
through the victim's eyes. You watch like their last. Watch their last moments of life.
So he solves the crime by doing that?
No, it's like tearing his brain apart.
Oh.
Because he's a different species.
I do recall something like that.
So he's doing that. Meanwhile, they're trying to solve this thing.
Yeah. Who did it? The butler?
No.
Oh.
No, it wasn't the butler. Do you really want
The
me to spoil
ex-wife.
this? It was the wife that did it.
There you go.
Because
It's not the butler. It's the wife or ex-wife or girlfriend.
Because it has the slutty white housewife, okay, and she's upset in her marriage being married to this bigwig government guy, senator or something, right? So she arranges for his murder,
Oh, okay.
and then they
It's a
frame
well,
Tommy Boy there.
because he is ex-con.
Yeah, I guess.
All their cons are mentally being tortured, so they don't get out of that.
Well, it was only the two of them on the planet. It was only him and Harry. Mr. Clarinet Kim. There.
Well, he's not the guilty one. I mean, look at that guy. He's like a good guy poster boy.
In this episode, Tuvok was almost interesting at one point. Yeah. And
was Chakotay in this episode?
Okay, Rugged Jaw Chakotay?
Was he
I
there?
don't even remember if he was in the episode or not.
Oh.
So if he was, it was very little.
So this was more Tom Paris's Odyssey and the Adventures of Harry Kim.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, because Tuvok got sent in. He's the private eye. He's the sleuth. He went in to solve the crime.
We should give them bad names.
And you want to know how he solved the crime?
What's that? Wow.
Because in the footage,
right.
The Paris is having an affair with the slutty housewife, of course, and they're the same height. Okay?
Oh,
But when they stand them close to her, he's like a foot taller than her.
It was someone taller.
No, it was someone shorter who did it that was the same height as her, and they altered the footage.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So that was another exciting episode of Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway.
So
how long are we going to keep doing this? I don't know, but
it's you are doing
I'm having fun.
Okay.
Are you enjoying this segment? Please let us know down in the comments below. We want to hear from you because no one actually has commented on it yet.
If you tell me there's one that is interesting, I'll watch it because I do know there were some interesting episodes.
This
one
was interesting. Oh, and
on
it was
a whole, it's a bit rotten.
It was directed by LeVar Burton.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, check out episode 8, Ex Post.
Oh, I saw a picture.
Season 1.
I think LeVar Burton is going to be in the upcoming episode of Picard. I saw there was an article somewhere on something, news or something, of him. And apparently he has a desk, and on his desk is a Cochrane statue. You know, the guy, that Zephyrin Cochrane.
Guy from Star Trek 7, First Contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's he's going to be in the next one because he hasn't been in it yet.
Okay. So that's our thoughts on Star Trek Voyager. Now we got a bunch of comments from viewers, so I want to go through them.
Oh,
they're all from YouTube.
Don't read any junk mail.
No, that was just a one-time joke.
Political.
Junk. No, that was just a joke.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, our good friend Mark Bigelow, who sent us a bunch of other comments, wanted to know what the kitty's name was.
Oh.
Today, if you're watching, Mark, today's kitty is Penny.
Yeah.
And normally it's Fluffy who's here. So he sent us a message saying, and this was on our...
And that is our actual
7
name,
episode. Asia does not show many Western movies, but mostly I don't like the constant distraction of people checking their phones. If that's what happens in Asia... I hear that. I've heard about that before. Everyone's on their phone all the time. That is the worst.
You're not supposed to be on your phone in our
country. I wouldn't like that either.
Well, if they are, Gregory will come over and tell them to turn it off.
Oh my goodness.
Although, when I was just at a movie last week, A Knock at the Cabin, I guess it was, someone in the aisle, her phone rang.
Oh.
But she turned it off right away.
Still, it's... Don't do things like that in the movie theater, guys. And Mark, I I wouldn't like
No,
that.
we
I
don't have
appreciate
that issue at all.
Remember when we were
Normally.
talking about video games and you mentioned a bunch of video games from the 70s and 80s?
The 80s.
Mark commented laughing Breakout, laughing crying
yeah.
emoji, Atari.
That was on the Vic 20.
Yeah.
We had to use a tape, and Dam Busters was my favorite. We had the Pac-Man one. It had a cartridge. It wasn't called Pac-Man. It was called Vic-Man. Yeah, this was with the cartridge and the tapes.
This is video games that Gen Xers had, although
yeah, those are the first ones on the old Vic 20.
The 80s were better with the Commodore 64.
Well, that was much later.
And the Atari and that.
I didn't
and
have
all the games that they had, and then you got Nintendo.
We did have Vic-Man, and that was pretty fun. That cartridge were pretty good. The tapes were a bit weird, but still, I enjoyed them.
Thanks
Dam
for
Busters
your comment,
was my
Mark.
favorite.
Also, Mark said on our... Remember we were talking about Jennifer Lawrence? And we were
trying
to see...
well, you seem to not like her.
No, he said, it can't be any worse than that Luciferian movie she was in called Mother. I saw that movie.
You hate.
Don't ever watch that movie, guys.
You really did.
If anyone watches this, if you take one thing away from the show, don't watch the movie Mother by Darren Aronofsky.
Yes,
I'm still scarred for life.
What's the other one?
Oh, there's others.
But there was a second one that you said don't watch either.
Well, I would recommend not watch by him.
Yeah, Mother, and there was another one you had mentioned. I thought it was by him.
No, the other guy I talk about don't watch his movies is Ari Aster.
Oh, okay. I thought
he's got this new Joaquin Phoenix movie coming out soon. Anyway, thanks for your comment there, Mark. I completely agree. Mother is a terrible movie. Someone liked one of our comments about. I said, any fans of Star Trek Voyager out there, and they liked it, so they're agreeing.
Okay.
Thank you. Then we got some stuff from Stephen Borg. I got a bunch of messages. These are interesting.
Okay.
He was Stephen Borg. I'm guessing he's Scandinavian by that name.
Or he's one of the Borg and he's infiltrating us. Resistance is futile.
Well, why would they say their name is Borg?
Because they don't care. They let everyone know. Remember, resistance is futile.
This was
inevitability.
This has to do with some fan comments. This is going to get a little bit heavy here for a minute.
Oh gosh!
But I'd like to address these things. This was on our trailer reaction for Disney's The Little Mermaid that's coming up in May.
And I thought it looked fine. I mean, it's not my thing, but it looked fine.
I posted, who is excited to see Disney's live action The Little Mermaid? And we got messages from Mr. Borg, so thank you. He said, race changing again for no reason. The Little Mermaid is based on Scandinavian mythology. And I think he's right there. I've heard of that before. Why are they allowed to race swap like this when they did the same with black mythology? You'd be canceled and called racist, etc. Sick of the box. There are also terrible water effects as well, especially by documented recent Avatar 2. I don't know if I agree with that there, man. I mean, when we get different interpretations of things... Well, he's talking about
it's not going to be as good as Avatar with the water.
Haley Bailey, I believe is her name.
She can sing.
Oh yeah, she can definitely sing, and that's what we got from this trailer. So I think in this case they just cast the best actress and singer for this role, and if she's the best one, I don't think that race.
They're not sticking to the mythology.
I don't think her race has anything to do with the particular character. I mean, they're mermaids. They're mythical creatures. They can be any color. They could be all blue.
Well, the good thing is it has to be a woman. So at least we know we're going to get a woman in that role.
Anytime Hollywood does something like this and they take a traditional character from an IP, like an established IP, intellectual property, and then they put in an actor or actress and they're not the same color, like if they're a different race, I don't have a problem with that at all. I mean, those are usually the people that they cast the best person for that role. No, and there are very few characters that whether their race actually depends on the character.
No.
And
I mean, yeah, if you had if Jasmine should be from where she comes from, it wouldn't make sense if she was. But I mean, these
the mythical land of Agrabah.
These sea creatures are like sea creatures.
It's like Superman.
They're all different colors.
It's like Superman. He doesn't have to be a white guy. He's an alien. He can be any color.
He can be.
They might make a black Superman movie. I'd watch that.
Well, we have different color Spider-Mans, that's for sure.
I respond to him. I said, I think they casted Haley Bailey for The Little Mermaid because of her amazing singing, which we heard in the trailer. Don't really care what her race or nationality is. That's not important for the character.
And it's good to see black girls with a leading role, which we don't get to see very much.
I don't have a problem with that.
I think that's a great thing.
I mean,
it really, I mean, little white girls see themselves represented a lot in these things, so it's nice that some little black girls can see themselves.
Yeah, representation is
Although
important.
they're not going to all turn into mermaids, so little girls just forget that. You're never going to be a mermaid.
Yeah.
I know some girls, they get those little tails down with their bathing suit and they're really trying hard to be mermaids, but no, don't do it, and don't go into the ocean without your parents around.
Thank you for your comments there, Stephen. Also, he sent something else. This one's not so hard. This is about our John Wick 3 Parabellum review.
Okay, we didn't mind that one.
Disappointed this one kinda, as the movie ends back where it started. I didn't think about that, but he's absolutely right. The movie starts, he's on the run from everyone, and at the end, he's on the run from everyone again.
Yeah.
Good point.
The second one
with a bunch
really
of assassins after him and a bounty on his head. The story just didn't progress at all from the end of the second movie.
And it doesn't make sense.
Desert sequence was pointless and stupid and should have been removed. I agree, the desert sequence was... And what do you need this for?
The really poor, after the desert sequence, when he goes and he's supposed to be killing that guy and he just says, no, I'm not going to do it. Why didn't he just say that, like...
Yeah, before he chopped off his finger.
He didn't even have to go there.
Okay.
I don't know, it was
Steven
silly.
also says, but the dogfight sequence was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Halle Berry with her two dogs that kept attacking everyone in the groin, and then she'd shoot him in the head.
I wish our neighbor has a German Shepherd. They could teach him to do things like that. Scare all the robbers away from our street.
And then he goes on to say, I hope John Wick 4 moves the story along. Looking forward to it, as apparently it's the longest one yet. And I was like, yeah, almost 3 hours. I got my reservations about this.
Yeah, when you go, if you like it, let me know and I'll go. But if you don't think it's the greatest, I won't go. Because I'm not crazy about these. I like the first one, the last two.
I've already booked off time from work, so I can go see this early in the afternoon, because I don't want to be up till like 11 o'clock watching this movie. If I go see it at 8 o'clock, then I won't get out until after 11.
I gotta be.
I'm an old man. I got
parent-teacher meetings tomorrow, so.
I'm an old man. I can't do that there. What else do we got here? Oh, you're gonna love this one. So on our last episode, we got a comment from David Norhoff. Thanks, Dave.
Oh.
Okay, and he said, "Love Big Bang Theory." Laughing, crying emoji. Always good to watch again and again.
There you go.
So lots of people are enjoying our Big Bang Theory segment.
But my mom doesn't like it.
Can you believe they let us use their apartment that day to shoot? That was great. So we're hoping to keep doing more of those.
We're not allowed to sit down anywhere.
No, you can't sit there. Even Raj has to sit on the floor. And we got some people liking some of our comments. A lot of people looking forward to our enjoyed our Joyride trailer reaction, and they're looking forward to that movie.
Yeah.
And someone clicked on saying that they're a big fan of Only Murders in the Building and looking forward to season 3.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's not a big comedy. I think that's why people are a little disappointed. It's not all like Steve Martin comedy throughout the thing, or Martin Short comedy.
Yeah,
it's
not Three Amigos. Let's say.
It's a mystery thing. But it is charming, and it has Nathan Lane, and he's not that funny in it either. No, he's usually the bad guy. Yeah. But I think they must have fun doing it, though. I betcha they have a lot of fun. It's hard to tame those guys down. They get like improving. I betcha they have to like rein them in a lot. The three, those three together, like Nathan Lane and Steve Martin and Martin Short, the three of them together.
Are they trying to be more dramatic actors in this show?
Well, it is more dramatic. I mean, Steve Martin's been in lots of things, but they're not singing in this either.
No.
Not really. No. They have a little bit of singing, but they're not singing because they do sing together. I think the two of them sing together.
Well, anyway, thanks everyone for the messages. We'll keep reading them out, so if you leave a comment down below, we'll read it out on a future segment. And for this week, we're just doing this in segments, so we're probably going to get one big long episode on Sunday. So we're going to sign off for now, and we'll see you on the next segment of this episode. Take care.
Bye.
Hi there. Welcome back for more segments of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. We're going to be discussing a few space-related themes here. By the way, don't pay any attention to the background behind us. Yes, we're on an Imperial Superstar Destroyer, but did they give us permission to come in here and record, or are they going to haul us out, Eamon? Don't you worry about that. Let me worry about that. So we're going to be talking Star Wars The Bad Batch, Star Wars The Mandalorian. Christine's going to be talking Star Trek Picard. And later on, we're going to be talking John Wick Chapter 4 that I saw yesterday on preview night.
Right.
And then we'll see if we have time for one of our segments. We got some new segments coming up, too. So let's jump into our first one. We're talking Star Wars The Bad Batch. Season 2, Episode 14 is called Tipping Point.
Yeah.
So this one had to do with Crosshair a lot. And it also had to do with, we saw Echo again.
Yeah.
Was that Rex? I don't know if that was Rex or not.
He might have been there for a second, but it wasn't about him.
Yeah. So they were rescuing.
He was there, I think, when they were doing the rescue. They were rescuing different clones.
Yeah. This is a spoiler.
Taken away.
Review.
And they're trying to figure out where they're taking them, where they have them, and then we see some of them where Crosshair is, and it's that creepy scientist again. He's so creepy that he actually was sort of banned by the previous administration. He was so creepy, but they
by the High Republic.
Yeah, he was so bad, but they let him do some experiments. But and he's looking for Omega, and that's why he's honed in on Crosshair, because he needs to find her so he can do more mad scientist experiments on her.
Yeah, him and his evil assistant scientist there. She seemed to be all for it as well.
Well, I don't think they have a choice. Anyway.
They seem to be really into it. So they're trying to find Omega for some reason. They have the Kaminoans in prison there.
Well, she has the original code.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Remember they talked about that previously. Where she has the original genetics where in the clones it's degraded.
Django Fett.
We've heard that before. About the clones, I don't remember where, but basically she's got the purest DNA, I guess, and he wants that DNA because for some reason the clone DNA is no good.
So
anyway,
they're experimenting on Crosshair.
Well,
they don't know what he doesn't know what they're doing
not really
to him.
Experimenting on this in this episode. They're torturing him, looking for information. I think they just basically put them back together like Humpty Dumpty.
But they were experimenting on him.
I don't know if
the last time we saw him.
He was injured and they were putting him back together, I think.
I think
so
they were
could
experimenting
take him
on him
and torture him for information.
Maybe.
That's what they were doing. Anyway, that scientist, he's no slouch. He's got on to the best lead, of course. To find Omega, which is Crosshair, so...
Yeah, so Crosshair escapes at one point in this episode and sends out a message.
Yeah.
And that leads Echo and the other clones to try and come and get him out, as well as they're rescuing other clones.
I always thought that was a plan so that he would call them. But instead, he told them to stay away.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of confused over his message. But anyway.
So it says here on Wikipedia, after receiving a message, analyzing the data, Echo recovered the Bad Batch learns about the existence of the Empire's secret advanced science division. Ooh.
Well, he was so bad, the other guys wouldn't have anything to do with him. He's like the evil scientist.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's. Anyway, we'll see. He's creepy. But I don't think he's going to get his hands on her, but it might come close.
Did you enjoy this episode?
Yeah, it was alright. It was different. It had some different, it was in a couple different places at once. I mean, they're not very long, the episodes.
This scientist guy, what is his name again?
Oh, he has a really creepy name.
I don't
on purpose. He has a creepy
I was
name.
looking at the credits afterwards, but I can't recall his name.
Yeah, he has a funny last name that makes him sound creepy. I can't remember what it is.
I think he's one of those one name characters.
No, he's got a creepy name. He's got a full name, and I can't remember what it is, but it's like it implies that he's a creepy scientist. Anyway,
we've seen him a couple of times this season.
Yeah, he's not to be trifled with.
We're getting the last 2 episodes next Wednesday. 15 is called The Summit, and 16 is called Plan 99.
Okay.
I wonder if is it the opposite of Order 66?
No, it's obviously their plan to do something.
Yeah.
to get
'Cause
away
there's-
from the
Because
mad
they're
scientist.
Squad 99.
Yeah, it's obviously their plan to get Crosshair, get everyone together, rescue the clones, and get away from the crazy scientist guy.
Yeah,
That's
I've been
what I'm
waiting.
assuming.
I've been waiting 2 seasons now for the Bad Batch to get back together.
And who knows who we might see? Maybe we might see some interesting. Maybe we'll see some different characters.
Maybe we'll see
From
Rex
our side.
again.
Well, we might see Rex for sure, but I mean, maybe some other Star Wars characters. Who knows? Anyway.
Maybe. We're getting a lot of flashbacks lately between this show and Mandalorian.
Yeah, well,
But
Mandalorian.
we're going to talk about that
we
next.
saw an interesting
This,
character.
As for the Bad Batch, did you enjoy this episode, or was this another filler episode for you?
No, I enjoyed this. Was moving things along.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I had a great time watching this. It's very tense with Crosshair in the prison there, and when he's trying to get out, and he knows he's not going to be able to escape, but at least he was able to send a
think
message.
maybe they did that on purpose so that he could literally call to them to come rescue him. I think it almost seemed like a trap. I don't know.
If that's right.
Or that lady is trying to let him out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's that bad. She seems to be concerned for him anyway. Who knows? But they're all crazy scientists, so who knows? Can't really tell their motivations on
I
their.
think she's just not as evil as the other guy.
He's really
the lead
evil.
scientist
He doesn't
there.
like put his fingers together and chuckle to himself, but
No, but he has a really
He's
creepy,
creepy.
voice. He's always talking
He's
in a very
creepy.
low and monotone,
Yeah.
sinister
it
way.
reminds me of the guy from Inspector Gadget, you know, Claw.
Claw?
He's got his cat. He doesn't have a cat.
No, he had a really deep voice. This guy
But
doesn't.
no,
voice
but
isn't
he's
that
like
deep,
real
it's just
bad.
very-
He's real bad.
Whoever's doing the voice acting for that guy, it's great.
He's real bad.
I'm really enjoying this. Looking forward to the end of this season. I don't know if we're getting a 3rd season or not. I mean, they could have ended the show almost a couple episodes ago when they landed on
Shadow.
Taboo.
Yes.
But anyway, I'm definitely in for it. Is anyone else out there watching Star Wars The Bad Batch? We haven't heard from anyone who's watching
Oh
this.
well, it's good.
But
Clara's like realizing she's left part of herself behind on the
I'm-
pillow.
I'm really enjoying it.
Or Fluffy, sorry. Sorry, that's your stage name.
Let us know what you think of Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2. Down in the comments below. We'll read it out on a future episode there. Oh, we do have some comments coming up later
Oh,
on.
good.
So that's always fun. We've heard some of our viewers. Sorry, shouldn't say that. It makes us sound like we're arrogant or something. People that are kind enough to actually watch our show and our ramblings.
They are technically viewers. They are viewing.
Trying to be nice about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anyone to watch
Oh,
this.
now
What
Fluffy's
is
getting all
Fluffy
excitable
doing?
now. I pet her too much. Now she's like,
Oh.
she's gonna get frisky.
No, Fluffy. No, Fluffy. You can't interfere with the camera there.
There you
Okay.
go.
Good kitty.
She's overstimulated now.
Next, we're going to jump into Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3.
Yeah.
Which apparently the ratings have gone down 25% this
I don't
season.
know why. This is really
I don't
good.
know either.
So this was...
This one's called The Foundling.
Yeah, it's about a couple of foundlings, actually. I'm not petting you anymore. You're getting wild. Anyway, yeah, it's about a couple of the foundlings.
Yeah. Well, this is a spoiler review because
is?
we have to
Okay.
talk about something. So Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are back with Grogu, back with the Mandalorian, with that
With the
specific
group.
clan,
Yeah.
and they're doing their training and everything. And
band.
now Bo-Katan is now part of their creed,
Yeah, for
And
now,
s-
anyway.
and so she is she's now not taking her helmet off unless
No.
she's alone. We do see her take her helmet off in
She's trying
this.
to
Oh,
obey the
careful
rules,
there.
yeah. She's trying to obey the rules and stay with this group for now, anyway. We'll see. And we see in this, we had seen in the previous episode, I think it was that one or the one before, where they have a boy who's now become like a foundling. He's with them. They don't have that many people or children, so
Nope.
he's very precious. And a giant pterodactyl monster comes and
yeah,
takes
'cause
him away and puts him in his nest.
before they were attacked by a giant sea monster.
It's a very dangerous place
Yeah,
where they're
there's
hiding out.
all
I
these
suppose
giant monsters.
that's why they don't think anyone will probably find them, because no one wants to go to this place. It's like a prehistoric Earth, but way worse,
But they keep getting attacked.
with bigger monsters.
And I didn't realize this, but this was pointed out on another podcast I was listening to. they haven't set up any defenses. Which
No,
is
no,
pretty dumb. They
because
haven't
they're-
come up with some kind of a defense.
Well, I was saying,
and it keeps happening.
I was saying, I would have assumed that they would have gone around and got rid of all those pterodactyls
Mhm.
at first, instead of waiting for the pterodactyls to come and eat them.
Mhm.
But the thing is, it is a way of defense in that no one's gonna bug them. They do have a cave,
Yes.
and they're all about fighting.
I think you're right. They should go around and start hunting and be like, just clear the area.
Eat up the pterodactyls. I mean,
Okay.
yes, okay.
And the sea
hopefully-
monsters. There's only so much you can
Well,
do
the
about
sea
them.
monster, as long as they stay away from the water, which they're aware of, the sea monster is a good protector for them too. If anyone else comes by, just jump up and eat them.
Unless
Anyway.
you're about to get eaten by the sea
They
monster.
do
That
spend
kid
a
almost
lot
got
of
eaten.
time by the edge of the beach.
Yeah, so they're hanging out. They're doing Mandalorian stuff.
But
And they're fighting and they're doing
like
all
that
these
kind of
games.
thing.
Because
Anyway,
weapons are their religion. And
yeah.
so they're all about fighting and practicing all the time and challenging each other and getting better, right?
Anyway.
So it's essentially like being in a dojo all the time.
Yes.
Except you're not allowed to take off
But
your armor.
There's actually, I'm lying. There's actually 5 foundlings in this episode.
Oh, there's a bunch, yeah. Because Grogu is becoming a foundling now.
Yeah, but now they got 3 pterodactyl foundlings.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if they were smart, what they would have done is go get the eggs from the pterodactyl, get rid of the pterodactyl,
So
and then have a whole
Bo-Katan
group of these.
leads the war party to rescue the foundling that is kidnapped by the giant pterodactyl, and then they chase it down because they chase after it with their jetpacks, but they run out of fuel.
Well, they're too
so
loud.
she chases after them with her ship,
It's convenient.
finds out where it is. They go there. They got to climb up to it, up to the nest on top of the peak, and then take it out and also get their foundling back, right? So she rescues the foundling. This part didn't quite make a lot of sense either, but I don't want to get into nitty gritty because I don't want to get into it because I really enjoyed this show and I don't want to just keep making complaints about it because some of the storytelling in this great. It could have used another draft just to make it make more sense. But I had a really fun time with this episode. So she rescues the foundling with the rest of them. She just leads the war party, and then they kill the giant pterodactyl. Right? I'm pretty sure they kill it, and they get the 3 pterodactyl
the sea monster
hatchlings.
kills it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because then the sea monster
That's
comes
what I
up
mean.
and
Like,
grabs
the sea
it.
monster is a way, as long as you don't get eaten by it, it is a good defense item. But they have to train
That's a dangerous
They need
defense
to train
item.
up that sea monster or something, or get
So
its
they
babies
managed to
and
do that.
train them up.
But what I really enjoyed about this episode was the secondary storyline that they're doing now, and that was a flashback to Coruscant to Order 66.
You've
with
been
the-
waiting for this.
With the Purge of the Jedi. I always
Yeah.
like going back to see
You've
the
been
fall of the
waiting
Republic.
for this.
But we get Ahmed Best, okay?
Yeah.
Comes back, and apparently he's playing a Jedi character that he has played before
I'm not familiar
on a
with that
kids'
character.
TV show.
Oh.
So he's like Jedi Master Beck.
Yeah. I wasn't
BEQ.
familiar with that Jedi.
But apparently this is a real thing from...
Because we were wondering how the baby Yoda, Grogu, got out of the massacre.
Yeah, everyone's been wondering
at the
this.
temple. So this showed, and I know you were really wanting to see this, how he actually got out, and it was because he was rescued by this Beck Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and they went through one of those typical flying vehicle
It's a speeder.
chases, which we've seen a lot of on Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's
Jedi Master-
affiliated with Naboo because he gets into one of those Naboo cruisers with the Nabooians are there
Yeah.
with their
Jar
armor.
Jar could be on that ship. We don't know. He could be the
He'd
one
have to be at 2
responsible.
places, I
But
don't know.
listen, Jedi Master Kalarin Beck.
Okay.
That's Ahmed Best's
They did
character's
say
name.
his name, but I
which-
wasn't familiar with it.
It is, yeah, neither was I. He did a great job, though. And if anyone deserves this, he deserves it. Because he took a lot of crap from fans and still
I
takes a
don't see
lot
why.
of
It's nothing to do
undeserved
with him.
garbage from people. They're constantly attacking him online. Okay, this is a guy who he admitted he almost committed suicide because the fan backlash against him for the Jar Jar character.
About Jar Jars, you don't even know who's playing Jar Jar. It's Jar Jar.
Doesn't matter. He was hired to do a job. He did what as George Lucas directed him to do. He did his job. It's not his fault that George Lucas wanted to put this
whoever it is that's
this ridiculous character in his movie. I've never been
people hate the Jabba the Hutt? Like,
no, but silly. They hate Jar Jar and they took it out on Ahmed Best, which is not fair.
Your mother
he didn't deserve any of that crap.
Your mom should have written him some fan mail.
Yeah, my mother. Shout out if you're watching there, Mom. She's the biggest Jar Jar fan probably on the planet.
Probably the only one.
I don't know. The kid seems to love Jar Jar as well. With the Jar Jar Halloween mask.
Has been Jar Jar for Halloween, and nobody on the street understands and thinks she's a cow.
Some kind of weird alien.
She wears it.
But Ahmed Best took a lot of crap over the years and still does, and I don't think that's cool to do something like that. But now he's back playing a Jedi Master. He saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple on Coruscant when it fell at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3.
Yeah.
With Order 66. That was the purge of the Jedi, and the Empire takes over. The Emperor takes over, and, now the Sith are in charge. That's the beginning of the Empire. So this was a really good addition to the Star Wars lore, because it doesn't retcon or change anything.
Well, we don't see a lot of different Jedis. Like, once they're all eliminated, I like to see a different one and see a different story, because we're always just seeing the same ones.
But those are the most important ones.
I'm sure they have lots of important things to do.
You're saying you don't like Jedi Master Plo Koon?
Well, we're just tired of seeing the same ones. It's nice to see a different one.
Jedi Master Mace Windu?
Yeah, well, he's so boring. But it would be interesting if he survived the fall.
And his hand's getting cut off.
Well, you can do that in Star Wars world. That's no problem.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Lost my hands. I'm still good to go.
You don't even need lungs
Sam Jackson has been campaigning for that for years.
Well,
to come back as Mace Windu.
We don't see him impaled on a building or something. We just see him falling. Now, Coruscant, the buildings are pretty far off the ground, but you never know. He could have fallen onto a ship or something.
He's a Jedi. He's got the Force.
Yeah. He could have just zoomed himself back into another
open wasn't window. In his hands.
Maybe there was another broken window.
He's still got the rest of them.
Maybe that window that they use with those worm things. They cut a hole in. Maybe he went through that hole.
There's an easy comparison for Mace Windu. He lost his hands, but he still got the Force. Darth Vader got all his limbs chopped off, and he still has the Force.
I said they can even make new lungs. It's not a problem. Hands are not a problem in this universe.
Yeah, Luke lost one.
They're not an issue.
That's the advice he should have got from Obi-Wan, okay? Because Obi-Wan should have just said, Luke, no matter what you do, keep both your hands, okay? Because Obi-Wan did. One of the few Jedi to keep both his hands.
He lost the rest of himself. But anyway, the hands are no issue. Anyway, it would be interesting. I'm interested to see different stories because we've always seen the same ones. That's all I'm saying.
This was just filling in gaps.
Anyway, it was nice to see. I know you were excited to see it.
I enjoyed it, but I also enjoyed the Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian Creed. I enjoyed all that as well. Although it was pointed out to me recently that the storyline was kind of dumb, and I'm like, oh, I enjoyed that. Now it's kind of ruined for me.
I don't think it's
but
dumb.
Their point was still valid. Listen, it was kind of dumb.
This harkened back to my childhood because when I was a kid, that was one of our main things to scare us from leaving the property. Don't leave the property or the eagle will get you and take you to the nest.
So your parents just lied to you about that. If you step off the property, the eagle's going to get you.
Yeah, well,
but as long as you're on your property.
Flying. Yeah, well, we couldn't go too far from home. So this to me was like, oh my gosh. This is like my childhood nightmare coming through.
Is this a big problem in that part of the country? Because Christine and I are from different parts of Canada. And now we live in a completely different part of Canada.
Well, I tell you.
Where I grew up in the city, okay?
You didn't have eagles flying
I didn't have to worry about eagles flying over.
No. Well, they never got me, but they have taken some cats and probably took our little turtle as well, maybe.
Okay, but they didn't carry off any babies.
No, but I used to have nightmares of pterodactyls getting me, so
okay.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
We're off on a sidetrack here for your personal gripes.
The child getting taken by the pterodactyl, that was like my recurring nightmare.
This really hit home for you, huh? You're like, that could have been me. getting back to The Mandalorian, what they're doing is they're following one narrative, but they're showing side stories as well. So this time we got a flashback to the fall of the Republic, and we found out how Grogu got out. And he could end up going to meet Jar Jar in that ship. We don't know. Maybe it's one of the other Senate. Well, no, he was the senator at the time, as well as Padme, but she was off, crying over Anakin at the time.
Don't even get me started.
And then
that.
Previously, we got another side story that could have been happening at the same time. It could have already happened. And it was about the scientist from the first season who was experimenting on Grogu.
Well, we don't know if he's dead or not. His name? Or he's now brain dead. He was beginning with a P.
Pershing.
Yeah, he was
Dr. Pershing.
That was in the last episode. We don't know if he survived that frying of his brain. I don't know what kind of shape he's in.
So we got a story to find out what happened to this scientist that we hadn't seen for 2 seasons.
I think he's probably...
I think he's fine.
He's probably... Maybe he'll go, maybe he'll turn evil now.
Well, the guy who administered it to him had it done, the Mon Calamari.
Anyway,
he was fine. He was just happy. It's like a lobotomy. It's a Star Wars lobotomy is what they're getting.
No, but this lady really fried him. But anyway, we'll see.
Yes.
Maybe he's going to help Grogu in the future. Maybe Grogu will need assistance.
Maybe
he is a clone and he's missing some genetic pieces.
I'm enjoying this storytelling of breaking up the main story.
Yeah.
And to tell congruent stories, to tell flashbacks.
I think it's real fun.
I mean, we could get more stuff about Karga Grief, I think is his name. Carl Weathers. Okay, we get more stories about what he's up to. They could always bring back the rebel stormtrooper. I can't remember her. Cara Dune. They could bring her back, but they would have to recast because they're not bringing back Gina Carano. She kind of got fired from Disney.
This is the lady, the fighting lady.
Yeah, the MMA fighter.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that was a while ago now she's been on it.
Haven't seen her since the first season.
No, but this season I find it is a strong season. I'm enjoying it. We want to see if the Mandalorians are going to come together as a nation, I guess we'll call them.
They're just a small band.
No, but there's way more of them out there, and if they could get them all together, they could go back to Mandalore because doesn't look so bad. You just have to watch out for those evil Krang creatures.
Trolls and those Krang monsters.
They can handle them as long as they know they're there.
I think they need to get more people. This is mostly about probably the training of Grogu because now he's a foundling. With the Mandalorians instead of being a youngling with the Jedi Order that he was before.
Yeah.
And you know what? I always thought he turned down Luke to become a Jedi, maybe because of what happened on Coruscant. We don't know. But he can always be a Mandalorian and then go back to being a Jedi because there was that original Mandalorian that became a Jedi and that's how we got the Darksaber. He could do both.
We also know that Luke isn't the best at training people.
Yeah. Luke made a few mistakes there with
part of the problem.
With Ben Solo.
Yeah, maybe he almost.
You know what we're talking about? Write in down the comments below.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was more about. But he feels a much stronger connection with Mando. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. I think it's a great season. I'm enjoying this one more than.
Yeah, I don't understand why the audience is dropping off here. If you're someone who watched The Mandalorian, you dropped off, let us know. And let us know why. Maybe it's just people are busy and everyone's working so much more now.
Yeah, and I tell you, the Baby Yoda, Grogu does some cute things in this past episode.
He's still got his chainmail on, and now he's got a metal crest of the Matterhorn. So it's like a whole big breastplate because it covers his whole chest. And it's just a big sigil.
It's cute, and he does some of those harken back to Yoda's jumping and flipping.
Do you think they'll give him gotta do the flips, you know? Anything with the prequels, you gotta have flips, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll give him a Mandalorian helmet?
He will get one, but they're gonna have to get his ears into it somehow.
Exactly. Are they gonna have to make everything for him has to be custom? Is he gonna get custom gauntlets for his little 3-clawed hands?
They're all different. Well, he had a thing he had to wear this time around, and
They were shooting darts.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be cute as anything.
I like where this is going. I'm enjoying it. Christine's still enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's a real fun treat to get a new episode of a Star Wars.
Still got 5 more episodes to go.
2 shows.
Only 8 episodes this season.
Yeah, they don't give us much, but it's nice to see it. It's fun.
And some of them are short too. That's a bummer.
I know. Anyway, well, we don't want them to be long.
Let us know what you think of Star Wars The Mandalorian. Are you enjoying it or not? Do you agree with what we're saying? Is there something in it you want to see? Let us know down in the comments below. We want to hear from you. We'll read out your comments on the next episode.
And if you're scared of eagles, you can let us know too.
Yeah, if you live in a place where eagles are overhead and they could come and swoop away your kids, let us know. Because apparently they are in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Listen,
so don't go to Nova Scotia is what I learned.
We didn't go too far.
Although the one main thing that I know about Nova Scotia is that there's lots of crows there. There's always these crows lined up on the side of the road. And maybe they're around taking kids away too.
No, not when the eagles are around.
If anyone's watching this from another part of the world, Canada is not like that. Apparently just where she grew up. Canada's actually a very nice place.
Watch out for the eagles.
In Nova Scotia. Okay, now we're going to jump into your review of Star Trek Picard. Season 3, Episode 6 is called The Bounty. Tell me all about it. Tell me what happened. Spoiler review.
Spoilers. I think I'm going to watch it again. I got to watch it at lunchtime, but I was interrupted numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it as much. Again.
No?
No.
Why not? You said you liked the last one.
I know. They had Geordi in this one, and I didn't really... He doesn't want to help them. He's worried about his kids. It's kind of weird and metally. I didn't like that part. I also didn't like they find another Data now, and they got the head of... They got Data, and they got...
Isn't it Lorne?
They got Lore. They got B4.
Is it Lore or Lorne?
Lore.
I thought it was Lorne. Wait, they got his head?
They got
Where's the
parts
rest
of him.
Where's
They
the
got
rest of
B4. They got Soong. They got holograms of Soong. They got Picard's body, apparently. They got...
Soong was a guy. They have his body.
They got a hologram of him, and they got some material of his.
So they're just collecting random body parts.
Positronic, like Picard Data, so he's like Picard now, so he's way more human.
Mm-hmm.
And he's all freaked up, and he doesn't know because he's all those people in one body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good. And we found out that somehow they stole Picard's old body. And Section 31 was keeping their stuff at this very known place, the Daystrom Institute. We've all heard of that.
I haven't. What's the Daystrom Institute?
It's supposed to be like the place where they study things and stuff. And they've been keeping all their secret stuff in a place that everybody knows about, so that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, Picard's body is top secret. He didn't need it when he was done with it. I don't know.
So what's the bounty then? Is there a bounty on his corpse?
They took him. They're trying to figure out what they stole, what these guys stole from the Daystrom Institute. They knew they stole this weird weapon because we see the enemy using it. But they said the whole reason for that was to cover up. Just to cover up what else they stole. So they go in and they find Data and Soong, and of course, strangely enough, what is his name? Moriarty is there, which also
from the holodeck. Why?
He's the AI used to guard. I didn't like this episode at all. He's the AI used to guard this satellite thing in space that's supposed to be got all these secrets in it. And Riker, it goes back to when Riker was one of the original episodes, and he's like singing a song, and all he has to do is sing the song. And Riker has like perfect pitch. He knows every note that's playing. And
really?
Oh, it's weird.
Is he a good singer? I don't remember that from TNG.
And he has
or the
movies.
Movies.
He knows what note they're playing right away, and he has to like sing a song, and then he's easily let go by Moriarty. And
Did he
Just
have that
so-
skill
I didn't like
back
it.
during TNG? Because I don't remember that.
No,
I
but
remember him
it's a
singing
song
at
that
all.
he was whistling or something. They actually show scenes of the original series, which is really weird. They show him whistling or humming this song. I think he's whistling, and Data's there in a tree. And
Oh, that was when he first met Data. I remember that. It was on the holodeck.
so, yeah, but it was weird, and it kind of took it out of the episode, and all he had to do was finish the song, like Puck was the Weasel or something,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden there was no threat.
Mm-hmm.
It made not much sense. It really didn't. And so then, in the end, they escape with the new Data, who's sort of a prototype and not all put together yet. They leave Riker on this thing where people have taken him now. They
On a
leave
ship?
on this plate in this. It's like, it looks like a big space, like weird
It's a space
station that has all this secret and you know,
Mhm.
Section 31 stuff on it. And why they find out that the big secret is that they stole Picard's old body,
Mhm.
and somehow they need that, and I don't know. Anyway, so they go and they escape. They leave Riker behind, and no one's upset that they've left Riker behind.
Mhm. No one likes them?
I don't know. They don't seem to, like, they're just focusing on Data. It's just weird.
Data is a more popular character than Riker.
didn't
Just
like
because
it.
Riker is your favorite doesn't
No.
mean he's everyone else's, okay?
I didn't like the episode. It didn't make much sense.
No?
I don't know. I didn't like it. So there's some really good episodes, and this one was not one of my favorites.
Mhm.
And so Data's there, Geordi's there, and Geordi is at this museum he runs a museum in space with all the old models
Oh,
of
LeVar
ships.
Burton finally showed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, why isn't he been on the show before?
Because he's been at this museum with his other daughter. Apparently, he has another daughter that he's been working with. Because his daughter's been on the ship they've been on, but he has two daughters, and he's mad at this one.
Sure.
And I don't know.
He's allowed to have as
And
many kids as he wants. He's
It's
LeVar
just-
Burton.
I didn't like that, so I didn't like that part. And he's got all the ships there, and they show all the different ships. He's got Kirk's Enterprise parked there. He's got Voyager parked there. He's got a Klingon Bird of Prey parked there. He's got one from when they went with the whales and they took it from the water. He's got that one.
That's a Klingon Bird of Prey.
They got that. They got them all
He
there.
got the Defiant?
No, I don't know yet. I didn't see the Defiant. So
Why has
he's
he
got
got-
these all parked. It's almost like it's like a space diner, and they're all parked in their
So they're all
places.
parked around his planet.
No, a station. It's like
Yeah,
it
his
looks kind of
space
like
station.
Deep Space Nine, but it's got all.
Why would he have those ships? And how
I
could he
don't
get those? Those would be
He's
so
like
expensive.
working there or something. I gotta watch it again. I think I
What,
missed
did he
something.
get them a discount down at
No,
the
no,
military
he's,
surplus
like,
store after they were
posted there.
decommissioned?
He's like posted there or something.
So they just
He's
brought.
like-
So they. It sounds like this
seen that?
episode is all member berries.
It is, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like
Too
it.
much fan service. Hey, remember
Yeah,
this?
it's
Remember
way
this?
too-
And terrible story.
And Seven is going on about Voyager, and it was her home, and she's talking to the son of Picard, who is all over the
Do we
place
see any
too.
of the
And they
other
say that
Voyager
now
cast?
he has that disease that Picard had.
Oh, of course, of course.
But that doesn't explain what he's seeing. And,
Any other Voyager crew besides Seven?
No, there's no Voyager crew.
No, Kate.
But they got the ship. Maybe the Doctor's on there.
Well,
Did they give him a holometer forever? I don't know. Maybe he's there. Anyway, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to watch it again because I feel like I must have missed something because you came home and were talking to me and my daughter was talking to me and I was trying to watch it. I didn't have much time. I had a meeting to get to. But I think I'm going to watch it again. But I really didn't care for it.
doesn't sound like a very good episode.
No.
It sounds as if they just made it all, put in a bunch of stuff for nostalgia and remember this. I call it member berries.
Right.
And also, and then we just throw LeVar Burton in there as well.
I think like they're trying to explain why Data looks old because they put all these experiences in him or something, and now he's like.
Yeah, that's dumb. It's because they didn't have the
But
budget
he
to make
seems-
Brent Spiner look like he was 20
seems
again.
Busted. He doesn't seem right. He's like multiple personality Data.
How old is Brent Spiner now anyway?
I don't know,
Is he
but
like
he's
in his
not
60s?
like he was when he was. I mean,
Yeah, back in the 80s.
So that's how they
when he
explain
first
him.
started
And he
playing
also comes in a hologram and plays Soong, apparently before. Because Picard's got the body that Soong was supposed to have. That's what happened in this series.
Well, Spiner can
so
play.
Picard can keep on
Spiner
living.
can play the old Soong anytime, right?
He has different Soongs. Anyway, it's a bit much. I'm hoping the next, like, I've liked some of these episodes a lot, and then we get an episode like this, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a lot.
He's 74?
Yeah, he's not young.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that old.
Like, they're old. They're getting up there.
Spiner was born in 1949? Holy
Yeah.
jeez.
Well, Picard was born in like 42 or 41 or something. Anyway,
he's looking as good as he can for a 74-year-old man, but he ain't looking like he did back in 1988.
Michael Dorn is looking great.
TNG, well, yeah,
and so is Geordi's looking great.
I imagine Michael Dorn.
Eyes, like
I imagine Michael Dorn is probably the funniest guy on set. I have no knowledge of this, but he's always so serious as a Klingon. I'll bet he was the one joking around all the time on set.
Spiner is a joker too.
But because he has to act so serious all the time in character, he would definitely be joking around constantly on set. I should go watch some old
Riker is the only
behind the scenes footage from TNG.
Worf does tell a joke, but Riker seems to be the only one telling jokes so far. Oh, and Deanna's in this episode. Spoiler: the bad guys kidnapped Deanna, so now Will is gonna have to say what the other guys are up to, or Deanna's. So that we'll see what happens in the next episode.
So do you get the
evil lady captured Deanna?
What evil lady?
Oh, this is what it's all about. There's an evil lady chasing them.
Why is she chasing them again?
Because she wants Picard's son. And she's got a changeling like living in her.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Why does she want Picard's son?
We don't really know. And we don't know why they want Picard's body either. But for some reason, they want him. He has something to do with the changeling. He's seeing these things. He's seeing this. And his mother is now explaining it because he has a disease that Picard had. But no, that's not what it is. Anyway, I don't know. It's a lot. I didn't like this episode. Maybe they could have leaned into some of these things earlier so it wasn't all like spit at you. Anyway.
Not very well put together.
I'm going to watch it again and see if maybe I just missed something, but I thought it was
the newer,
was a lot.
Maybe it was one of the newer
writers. There was no weird
writers.
squids giving birth, so that was okay.
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll see.
All right.
Anyway,
well, that's what Christine thinks about.
Gonna have to watch it again.
Star
Didn't
Trek
really
Picard.
like it.
What episode was that? Episode 6, The Bounty. So that's her thoughts. I can't comment because I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to see it because I'm busy watching something else. Let us know what you think of Star Trek Picard down below in the comments. Come on, kitty. Good kitty.
She's really kind of rambunctious.
She's just kind of...
She's been laying downstairs all day because it's been really windy out, and she hasn't really come upstairs and done her normal stuff.
Now she's all over the place.
Now she's rubbing on
the
computer.
We're done with space for right now.
Okay.
Yesterday, I went to an early afternoon screening of John Wick Chapter 4. Because this movie is 2 hours and 49 minutes, and I didn't want to be there all night.
Yeah.
So I went to an afternoon screening around 4 o'clock there after work. And, so, end of the day, I had fun with this movie. This is a spoiler-free review, by the way.
Okay,
because you haven't seen it.
I'm not sure if I will go to see it.
Yeah, with it being long. People are saying this is the best one. And I've been looking up the...
You didn't think that, though.
Well, I had fun with this movie. This is a good action movie. It's, once again, you can definitely tell it's in the John Wick universe because of the style in the way that it's shot. And all the gun fu, as they call it, in the fighting scenes.
Oh, yeah.
They call it gun fu, which constantly shooting at each other.
It's a lot. I don't like that part.
It had some really good action sequences in it. Near the end, it had some good jokes, actually. I'm watching this whole movie, and I'm like... And it wasn't funny, but I wasn't thinking about it. And then there was a couple of good jokes near the end. I'm like, oh, okay, nice touch. Problem with this is... It's way too long.
For this kind of movie.
Even for most of the first half an hour, I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just, you don't need this. This is dragged out
It's
way too
more
long.
about the style these movies are. Not like the first
No.
one wasn't like that. I find these last other two movies, and you were saying similar to this one, it's just all about the
They
style
seem to
of
get
this
longer.
environment.
Now,
that
I
they're in.
understand why they made this one longer, but one, it's still too long.
Everybody's making
We
movies
know
too
from
long.
we know from the trailer that Donnie Yen is in this, and so Donnie Yen is another assassin under the table.
There's so many.
One of the Skarsgård kids is in this.
Oh, okay.
The one who
Who
played
them?
Pennywise.
Oh, I don't know which one that is.
What was that? Alexander Skarsgård. Look, it's got 96% certified fresh critic rating
Okay.
on Rotten Tomatoes and a 97% audience score. So people are really enjoying
But
this.
as far as this one, you liked it. Like you liked the first one best.
Bill Skarsgård. That's the Pennywise.
Okay.
In terms of ranking, I would put the first one. Okay, first John Wick, 2014, I think.
Yeah.
That one has all the emotion in it
Sounds
with
like a
his
good
wife,
story.
and then the dog, and then this
The idiot.
douchebag shows up and steals his car and kills his dog. It's
And
like
that guy always, we've seen
he
him
got
play an
what
idiot
was coming
before.
to him. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Game of Alfie,
Right.
Alfie Alson or something
He
like
played
that.
a similar
He was in
character
Game of
to
Thrones.
his Game of Thrones character in the beginning.
So, I mean, we see Lawrence Fishburne again. He's also in the trailer.
but that's
He
what
seems to
he
be having a good
doesn't
time
have
in these
anything-
movies.
His role has never been important in these movies. It's just more to show the style of this agency.
I think his character, the Bowery King, is important because every once in a while he helps out John Wick.
I know, but it's
And without that help,
I-
John Wick
I don't
would have died.
It's just silly. It's just silly. These people, they don't need to live like they're homeless people in the street.
So you definitely get some
and they're
new
not homeless people.
some new stylized action sequences that's different
Right.
from what before. You do get a lot more of the same, and
Yeah.
even some of the action
didn't-
sequences in this movie, they go on for too long. I'm like, you
They
should have
didn't
cut
go to
this
the
down
desert
more.
this time, though. Did they?
You want me to spoil
Oh
that?
no, I just mean they didn't go to the desert and pretend to almost die to get rescued. They didn't do that again, did they? Oh god.
Spoiler,
They did.
they do go to the desert, but it's within like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Do they have to cut off any more limbs?
No.
Oh, good.
The spoiler for this is they go deal with this, and it's like, no, we're not doing this again. It's like he just goes
He
after
already
him,
gave his finger up, and it was useless.
and that part in the third movie was quite useless, and they definitely should have cut
Kinda
it out.
brought the movie down. That
And so they're just kind of course correcting, I think.
okay.
They're just saying, hey, we're done with this. We're not doing that anymore.
No earthquake. That was just fluffy.
Yep. What else can I say about this?
You did like it, though.
You did make me spoil it, though.
I think it's just so much about the style of this agency instead of focusing on an actual story.
I had a
would
fun.
be helpful.
There is a story to it, and it follows the narrative and the lore that we've seen from the other movies because you get more of the coins. They talk about the markers when you owe someone a debt, and then they talk about the what was the other thing that they have here?
The tattoos.
The ticket that we saw from the third one, where he pulls out his cross and gives the Belarusian leader lady
Yeah.
his ticket. That was the cross. We
Right.
get more of the ticket, so there's consequences from that in this movie.
Right.
It's
Is his family in this one?
it's a good time. What family? He doesn't have any family.
Well, his family, the Belarusians.
Oh yeah, we do see them again.
Okay.
So, end of the day, I give this a best movie ever.
Okay.
It's not my favorite John Wick. I would put number 1, then this one, then 3, then 2. 2
Yeah,
is the weakest
Two
for
is
me,
the weakest.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Are you going to go see this? Does my review, my spoiler-free review, make you more excited about this?
I'm not gonna say, oh my gosh, I need to see this movie. But if there's an opportunity and it is playing at the right time, I might go to see it.
And you have 3 hours to go watch
I
it.
know.
That's,
You know.
I mean, it's hard enough that this is an R-rated movie, but when it's almost 3 hours, you're getting less and less people to go see
We're
it.
in a bunch of
Who wants-
snowstorms this weekend.
Who wants to go out for 3 hours more because you got to travel there and back?
Yeah, tomorrow's all day snowstorm, so no one's
And
going
what's
anywhere
this?
here.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's this part of Canada here.
Yeah, on the east they've had snowstorms as well. Ours is just starting now.
But
Anyway.
everyone's loving this. I enjoyed it quite a lot too. I just don't seem to enjoy it as much as everyone else does. But I still give it a best movie ever rating. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Do you enjoy John Wick? Did you see number 4? And let us know your thoughts on it. Did you enjoy it? Why not? And try not to spoil things for people. I wouldn't have, but Christine has to ask me very specific questions.
I just really didn't like that part when I'm cutting his finger off.
Now, very quickly, we're going to jump into our favorite segment of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway. Season 1, Episode 9 is called Emanations. You would have loved this one. It's great. Okay?
Is that a sarcastic great?
No, it's really great. It's so ridiculous and over the top. It starts off, they're going to this planet that has rings around it. So it's like Saturn, it's all asteroids around the planet as a ring. And they're going on, we've discovered a new element for the periodic table.
Oh.
I think they say it's number 247.
So there'll be way more by this time.
I don't know how many elements there are on the periodic table currently, because they keep discovering new ones.
If this was like all these planets, I'm sure there's lots more. That would have been the thing. Must be at number 1,000 by now, probably.
There you go.
But anyway,
so they're going to this place. They're going to check out these asteroid rings because they've discovered this new element. So they get there, and they're going to these asteroids, and what's her name? They're look at my forehead. B'Elanna is like, we can beam down to these asteroids in the rings. You know why? Because they can support M-class life. And I'm sitting there, wait, what? How does the asteroid have gravity and an atmosphere?
Well, it's in a gravitational pull. That's why it is a ring. But it itself,
it's in space. It doesn't have atmosphere.
No, it wouldn't have atmosphere.
So, why are there these cobwebs?
Cobwebs? There's spiders on these things?
Yeah, there's these.
It's like spiders caught in the gravitational field.
They go into these caves and there's these cobwebs, and I'm like, why would there be spiders there? It's an asteroid. But they can breathe there too. I'm like, this is bad writing already.
The science of this show is really bad.
What they find out is that they get there and there's all these dead bodies there.
Because the spiders ate
them. And
they got nothing else to eat. They're on a rock.
It looks like they're in a ceremonial position, but it looks like they're covered in cobwebs, but they're not.
Spiders ate them.
No, it's not cobwebs. Then what happened? So it's look at my forehead, B'Elanna. It's the voice of reason this episode, Chakotay, and it's
he is often that, Mr. Boring.
And it's the over-enthusiastic Harry Kim on this away team.
Yes.
So what happens soon as Kim's like...
And Kim's afraid of spiders. Do tell me, right?
No, Kim's like, Captain, we gotta examine these dead bodies. We don't know anything about this
species. They could have diseases.
It's a first contact situation.
He's dead.
Like, we should desecrate their graves. So the voice of reason, Chakotay, is like, Captain, I don't think we should be messing around with graves.
Don't they just have like little tricorders that tell you everything? You don't need to start taking people apart.
Anyway, the point
That's
is...
what a tricorder is all about.
Anyways, Miss I Know Everything Janeway is like, I'm going to side with Chakotay on that. Let's not desecrate an alien race's gravesite.
And they could have like viruses.
Which could probably piss them off, and it could be a health issue for your crew.
Diseases.
Because they're not in their spacesuits on these asteroids, because there's atmosphere, of course.
It's like a wet market or something.
So what happens is, as soon as they decide this, they're looking around, because all they're allowed to do is visual inspection. And what happens is a portal opens up, but it's off camera.
Tricorders?
They do, but they're not allowed to use them. It was Chakotay's call. So they put away the tricorders. Anyway, you're getting bogged down in the weeds. I haven't even gotten into like 10 minutes into the episode. It's going to take forever with all the questions. So a portal opens off camera, and apparently this portal sucks in things and spits things out at the same time.
In
I don't
a
know why.
different place or in the same place?
So what happens is they have to beam them out. They're like, oh my god, they're going to get sucked into this portal. So they beam them out.
Right.
So Chakotay and B'Elanna get back to the ship, and the third person is one of these dead bodies that just got dumped there from the portal, and Harry Kim gets sucked through the portal.
With the spiders.
So he wakes up in this in this
Again,
egg-shaped
it's a piece of rock.
egg-shaped machinery. Okay, it's like
Yeah.
a chamber you lie in, and he's in another dimension.
Oh,
So he's dealing with interdimensional beings, and he's
like the wormhole aliens.
and he's woken up a completely different dimension, not even in the same universe that Starfleet and
Okay.
everything is in. It's another dimension, and he's woken up because they just sent him away to what they call the next emanations, like their next stage of life. Okay, to become a spirit or something like that, right?
Yes.
And so they send these people away, but apparently their bodies are just being dumped in this asteroid ring, and they're decomposing.
Right.
And as they decompose, they release this white stuff that then goes all over them.
We've
and
seen that
so-
before.
so-
with that trying to get to those different stages
So what happens is,
of life.
this is so bad for them. Like, this is them breaking their own rules, and they're being really dumb about it. So what's their main rule that they always have in Star Trek?
Don't interfere with the people.
Yeah, the prime directive, right? It's
Yes.
always the prime directive. So what they end up doing is Janeway has one of these dead bodies that was just the one they beamed aboard because it was just dumped there.
Right.
The doctor examines it and
With
it's
a
like
tricorder.
yeah, in the medical
Does
bay.
it take it apart?
No.
Okay, good.
Stop with all the these are useless questions. So he takes this dead body that they just got back, that they just got instead of Harry Kim, which I think they got a good trade there.
Yeah.
So what did they do with this alien race they've never met before? He discovers that there's cancer in her body, and that's why she just recently died. So he removes the tumor, and then he revives her. So this lady died, and then they bring her back.
Like, how many years ago did she die?
No, like, she just died.
Oh.
And that's why the
I know
portal
she
opened up
died.
and they sent her.
Oh, I
So-
get it. So it's like a garbage dump for these aliens.
Yeah, so these people are dying, so they go through this ritual.
Okay.
In a sense, it kills them.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
and dumps their corpses there, but they believe they're going to a new plane of existence.
Well, they are.
And maybe they
just
are, maybe
not
they're not.
existing anymore.
No, there's some stuff in there that's like maybe they are, maybe they don't, but they don't quite answer. You have to watch the episode for yourself. The point is Janeway brings back a dead woman. Okay, so imagine you died of cancer, and then you wake up and the doctor and Janeway are staring down at
Oh
you.
my God.
So the I want to name now doctor,
Yeah.
he's like staring down,
Being
and
a
you know
jerk to
what
her.
his demeanor is. And so this lady dies,
Not
and so she
only
wakes
do
up.
they, like,
all of
mess with them, they bring her back
all of
to
her
life.
religious beliefs have been shattered now, and she's been brought back from the dead. So she's kind of going crazy. So she, you know who tries to make friends with her
Oh,
and calm her
Cass.
down? Mrs. I've got all the jobs, Cass.
Yes.
So now she's ship's counselor, I guess. She's trying to calm her down, but this lady's like, you don't understand what I just been through. This is nuts. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Harry Kim is in their dimension, and he's
Right.
like destroying all of their religious beliefs. He's like, no, there was dead people there. You're not living anywhere else. They're all
Prime
dead.
directive.
He's being really dumb, and it takes him a while to realize he needs to be quiet because they're going to
yeah.
keep him there forever, and because this is their
This
first.
is his first
This is
job.
their first look into the afterlife, and they want to know about the
It's their
afterlife.
first meeting of an alien race, also.
Well, I guess they're interdimensional beings to each other.
Oh my.
So this is ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense. And again, why are
So
these
this is
stuff
what
like,
they
and
do.
they never found this mineral, I'm assuming,
No,
then?
it gets even better. I'll tell you what happens. Oh, they did. It's in the dead bodies.
Oh, God.
So, because they're from another dimension, right? So here's what
So
they
now
do.
they're gonna have to take them apart.
The lady that they brought back to life,
Right.
they're going to
She spits up the mineral.
when the
from
next
them
portal opens, they're going to beam her back in so she can go back there.
and freak everyone out. It's like your
Yeah.
grandmother dies.
Exactly.
And
so
then someone digs her up in the graveyard and throws her back
so
into
they
your
try
house.
to beam her back to her dimension and her people. You know what happens? She dies. Like, okay, so they're like, beam her over to the asteroid field. She'll be with the rest of them. So this asteroid field is just being used as a dumping ground
Yeah.
for these
well,
beings from another dimension. And what happens
would
on
make
Voyager
sense.
is they start teleporting them there too because they're in the proximity of the planet.
oh.
They're what do they call it when they're just circling around the planet there.
They're in orbit.
They're just in orbit, right?
Yeah.
So they actually have to leave because they don't want any more of the dead bodies dumped on their ship, and they have to keep beaming them to the asteroids. So they keep getting all these
Make
dead
any
bodies.
sense. There's like rocks everywhere. There's just one portal. Why?
So what
that
happens
made any
at the end of the
sense.
day is they go back. The reason why they have to leave is because these dead bodies keep getting closer to the warp core. And if one gets put into the warp core, boom. Okay, so that's why they had to leave.
Okay.
So then B'Elanna figures out how she can protect the warp core with a special,
Dead bodies. The zombies are coming. They're not even zombies. It would be cool if they were zombies. That would make more sense.
So they go back, and the next portal that opens, they scan the body that was there, and it's a human body. It's a dead human body.
It's Harry.
Yeah, because it's Kim, so the machine does kill him, and they just revive him. Because, Star Trek science, right?
Coming back from the dead.
So they completely destroy this race's, religious beliefs and their thoughts on the afterlife. It's really ridiculous.
They protected the warp core.
But they protect the warp core. They got Kim back. They got nothing out of this. It was just really dumb on their part. And
listen, this was a missed opportunity. These could have been zombies that could have been being put on their ship. That was a missed opportunity, Voyager. You could have had zombies.
But the most rational
with.
person in this episode was Chakotay. He was Mr. Reasonable, I guess.
There you go.
So that was another episode. Let us know
fabulous.
your comments on that. And thank you for joining us for another segment of Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway. Now we're going to wrap things up. Christine, how can people get in touch with us?
Okay. Clara's got my card there. They can email us. CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com. You can submit any answers to the questions we're asking you guys, anything you've seen, or anything you want us to watch, maybe something you want to talk about with us.
News topics that you're interested in for entertainment news, we'll talk about them, or particular media.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at Canada Hosers. That's where Gregory will put up all our new episodes. And you can find Gregory at St. John's Critic when he does his reviews of different movies and other materials. And if you want to get our attention on Twitter, you can use the hashtag CanadaHosers.
Okay, thank you.
That's everything.
So from all three of us, Fluffy's just down here off camera. She's being shy. So from all three of us, take care, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.